Good morning everyone, it's Tanja from Tanja Kraus Horsemanship here, and I'm joining you once again with some thoughts from my walk. It's becoming pretty much a regular occurrence, and I guess it's because when I'm walking I tend to think a lot about what's either coming up that day or what happened the day before and things like that. So what I'm going to share with you is just the things that I think about, and it might just be a specific one little element that I notice in a clinic or with my own horses or whatever, and hopefully I can share that with you and it'll maybe make a difference in some way. So I'm looking forward to sharing these thoughts with you. I have been enjoying it the last couple of days. So this morning I'm joining you once again from, I'm out at the Karumba beachfront. I've just finished my walk, grab a coffee before I head over to Talabudra to start my final day of the strength suppling and conditioning course. And what I was thinking about this morning was the idea that people have of going backwards. I meet a lot of people at courses, and even when we're just talking about horses or on Facebook or whatever, who will say, I just feel like we've gone backwards. I feel like we've gone backwards in our training. And what I want to share is that I really don't think that we ever go backwards in our training or in our in our progress with our horse, because we have to remember that we're always dealing with a living, breathing thing who's got their own thoughts, their own ideas, and their own responses to external influences and what's happening around. So I don't think that we ever go backwards. I don't think that once we've taught a horse, for example, a lateral bend, and we feel that it's consistent, and this is where we start to draw lines in the sand or understand the steps along the way. If I'm teaching a horse a lateral bend and they don't understand it, and I get to them the next day and they still don't understand it, we haven't gone backwards. He is just still trying to figure out what the lateral bend is. If he is learning the lateral bend and he understands it and he's giving it to me quite consistently, and he gives it to me at home and he gives it to me in quiet, perfect conditions, and then I take him out somewhere and he doesn't give it to me, it doesn't mean that he's gone backwards. It doesn't mean that he doesn't know it. It just means that he doesn't feel like he can either receive that information from me, or that the information that I'm telling him to do, like a lateral bend, is appropriate for those times. So that could be a trust or a leadership or a confidence issue. So in terms of going backwards, I don't think that we ever do. I think that we gain knowledge all the way, all through our training. I think the humans hopefully are always progressing. We're always getting new knowledge, and we're always learning how and when to apply that knowledge in different circumstances. So what it means is that sometimes our horse might present to us and say, I can't lateral bend today, or I don't understand it today, and they're not actually saying they don't understand it. They're saying, I don't feel like this is a good thing to do at this time, which is a lack of trust. So being a good horseman is recognizing when the horse gives us something, or recognizing when in terms of teaching, when the horse has given us a try and we release. But being a great horseman is recognizing that try even if it doesn't look like what we thought it was before or what we were aiming for. When it comes to going backwards, people will say to me, but we were doing this, we were doing the canter, we were doing XYZ, we were doing this, and now all of a sudden he doesn't do it anymore. Well, that still doesn't mean that you've gone backwards in your training. It just means that at that time the horse either physically, mentally or emotionally can't handle what it is that you're asking him to do. It doesn't mean that he doesn't know how to canter. It just means that he doesn't he can't do it in that moment. What can also happen through changes in diet, or changes in physical ability, or changes in physical strength, or discomfort, pain, anything like that, then the horse can start to present with us things like, I could canter yesterday, but now I can't canter. Well, are you injured? Are you sore from doing the cantering yesterday? Do you lack balance? Whatever that is, it's up to us as horsemen to have enough knowledge to recognize that in the horse and say, okay, he's having trouble with it today, but we were doing it yesterday. Is it a lack of understanding, or is it a physical incapability, or is it an emotional incapability? Have you taken him somewhere that is externally stressful or what have you, where the horse is saying, you know what, I can't do that right now? So I think it's up to us as great horsemen. You know, I had this experience the other day. I had a body worker come out to treat two of my horses. The horse that I thought would not be fantastic, which was Galliano, because she's been living on 45 acres. I pulled her over to the house paddock, expected her to be a little bit nervous or worried or whatever, because she, you know, it's pretty busy around at our house paddock. There's other horses, there's round yard and feed sheds and all that kind of stuff that she hasn't seen before. She was absolutely perfect. And then when I turned her out in the paddock and tried to work with Cooper, Cooper got upset. And you know, most of you know Cooper from clinics and things like that. I can take him anywhere, I can do anything with him, but on this specific day he said, you know what, I can't handle getting worked on my body at the moment because I'm worried about Galliano, or I'm worried about the herd, or I'm worried about what's going on over here. So instead of me saying, you know, oh Cooper, you know this, and I'm disappointed and this and that, I tried to help him through it. I put him at liberty. You know, I did things that I thought would support him through it, and we eventually were able to work on him. There's no point in, you know, do I think that Cooper's gone backwards? Of course not. I've done, you know, 8 years with that horse. I don't think that he doesn't know how to stand still anymore because he had a situation in which he was reluctant to stand still. So I think it's really important for us to recognize when we start having those thoughts, oh, I think we've gone backwards. I think it's important for us to stop and take stock and go, you know what? We're not going backwards. It's just something that we have to revisit. I have to help the horse. And again, it always comes back to the same thing, the same philosophy all the time. Let me help you. How can I help you? Let me help you. Not, why are you doing this to me? You know, if you, again, following on from my thoughts from yesterday, an attitude of gratitude, instead of going negative and saying, why are you doing this to me? I don't understand this, and having a big cry about it, look at what's in front of you and say to yourself, okay, my horse isn't dealing, you know, this is what I did. I went, okay, my 10-year-old horse isn't dealing with this. This is a little bit embarrassing because the body worker's here trying to work on him. He's normally quiet in all the situations. Oh well, let me try and take some action to help him through this situation, instead of sitting in, oh, I don't know why he's doing it, and oh, what an idiot, and this and that and the other. It wouldn't have served me at all anyway. So in regards to going backwards, I don't think that we ever do. I think that what we need to do is pull the tools out of our toolbox that we know that we have, and as we gain more knowledge, we get more tools. You've got to use the tools that you know that you have. So there's no point in going somewhere and saying, oh, I've been hearing Tanja talk about a lateral bend, I'm going to try that to calm my horse down, if you don't know how to do a lateral bend. You've got to go to what you know until you've got more knowledge, and then you can go ahead and apply that new knowledge to your horses. So I hope that these thoughts help you in some way. I can finally see some comments. Hi Robin from the Sunshine Coast. Hey Brett. Thanks for everyone for joining me. I hope that by sharing these thoughts that I have, you know, it can help us just think about a few things in a different way, and you know, help our horses that little bit more. So no such thing as going backwards, always such a thing as maybe having to rebuild foundations or double check in our foundations, but more than likely it's just a series of circumstances that we have to acknowledge. No point in getting negative about it, because being negative isn't going to serve us. It's not going to serve a purpose. So when you find yourself in a headspace that isn't serving you, you need to ask yourself, hang on a minute, is this serving me, or am I finding a solution? Am I on the way to a solution, or am I on my way to, you know, just getting worse and putting the horse back in the paddock? You know, what thoughts that I'm having, what effect are they having on my immediate situation? There's no point in saying, oh, you know, throwing my hands up in the air. We've got to take control of the situation, own the situation, and say, okay, I don't understand why the horse is carrying on like this, but this is what I'm going to try and do about it, and we go from there. So I hope everyone has a great day. It's Australia here. It's Monday morning in Australia. I haven't finished my first cup of coffee yet. That's why my words aren't working. It's a beautiful day. I'm looking forward to my third day of clinics. I'm just out on my walk at the moment. Thank you all for joining. Hi Natalie. Hi Robin. Hi Barbara. Thanks for your comments, and I look forward to sharing more thoughts from my walk in the future. I hope everyone has a great week.